Welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast with your hosts, Kathy Gruver and Terrie Huberman.
Well, hi there. Welcome to the Intentional Awakening Podcast. I'm Terrie Huberman.
And I'm your co-host, Kathy Gruver. Boy, things that happen off screen. And we're going to start every episode, as we do, with an angel card. And the angel card today is being persnickety. All right, let's reset this. The angel card for the day is, awakening.
Damn you!
Let the sun, and it's a little sleeping angel, kind of like stretching in bed with a little bird singing next to it. So it's like get up in the morning kind of awakening. Let the sun illuminate parts of you that are dormant, numb, or forgotten. Rub the sleep from your eyes and welcome the new dawn.
Oh, that sounds cute and cozy.
It's adorable. It's adorable. But that's not quite what we're talking about today. Today, we're going to talk about honing your psychic gifts. So Terrie is a practicing medium, spiritual advisor. She's incredible. I've had readings from her in the past that have been so freaking just like so accurate. So
Thank
accurate.
you.
And I've been doing psychic things since I was a little kid, much to the dismay of my very Catholic mother. And I pulled out the complete book of psychic sciences.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
One of the books I bought in a discount bin when I was in high school. And I was obsessed with books like this. I had probably 10 books of how to read tarot cards and how to do numerology, and I was just obsessed with it. I started reading tarot cards in high school. So we thought, since so many of you listening are interested in that sort of thing, that we would give you some tips for how to hone these things.
Yeah.
And Terrie, you probably teach people more than me on how to do that. So you can take the lead on this one and I'll jump in where appropriate.
Sure. Well, it's important to know that everybody has intuition. Some people use it more and are better at using it. Like, you have athletes, right, that work out at the gym. And so they practice, or it's not so much practice, but they're lifting weights to practice, right? There are some of us that just have higher sensitivities because we're just a little bit more in tune with our inner self, like who we are. So we remember that we are not just human, we're also soul. So everybody's got this. You can actually learn how to strengthen your intuition. Just really quick though, because I want you to understand the difference between intuition and instinct. I was gonna say instinctiveness, if that could be a word. But
Sure.
when you're using your instinct, typically there's a life or death circumstance, or there's fear. It's fear-based instinct, but it doesn't mean it's wrong, right? So for example, you're going out with friends and you're like, I don't think I should walk to the corner by myself. It's 2 a.m., just finished at the bar. Hey, you'd say to your friend, can you walk me to the car, right? So there's a sense of potential danger or fear, right? Intuition comes from being very present and being at peace or calm, not having thoughts rush around in your head. So that is the difference. They both can be right and they both can be accurate. But I just wanted to point out that one is not necessarily better than the other unless you're serving somebody else. So like if you're serving somebody else, you're giving them guidance because, a lot of therapists, they're intuitive, right? They may not understand it, but they're there to help and guide people, right? So if you're going to be guiding or helping people, you want to be using your intuition versus your instinct, if that makes any sense. Because oftentimes, again, the instinct has ego attached to it because the whole idea of the ego is to save the human body. Okay, so I just thought that that was really important for people to know and understand.
I think that's really great. And I'm so glad you said that because I've thought about those things, but I've never really thought about defining it that way. So when I'm driving out of my house to get to my office, there's a circle called Argonne Circle here. And
Okay.
there's a lot of blind curves. There's a lot of cars parked. And there was one morning I was heading to my office and I thought, I'm going to slow down and pull over. And comes
Mm.
fly two car, a car on each side of the road. So there was only room for one car. I couldn't see what was coming. I just had this urge to stop and slow down and pull to the right. And sure enough, this car comes tearing through, would have just head on collision to me. Instinct. Or no, intuition, because there was no instinct for that.
Correct.
But I see how those words are used. I've used those words
Yeah.
interchangeably, but I'm glad you made the difference. Okay, so we have our intuition and our instinct.
I've used the word interchangeably too, because there's levels of truth to both. And
Yeah.
again, they both can be accurate. It's just one, maybe there's more awareness than the other, maybe. And with that awareness can come prejudgment,
Yep.
right? So if you know you're going on a freeway or, a street where there's no lights, right? So you're going to be really on high alert, right? And if you also got that urge to pull over, but because okay, this intersection, there's a lot of accidents, and you got that urge, I would say that that was more instinctual versus intuitive.
Yeah, to me, it felt more intuitive because I normally would have just driven. I mean, I'm on that road 5 times a day. And this one, I was like, pulled off. Vroom,
Well, no, yeah, yeah. But that one, when you were describing me to me, it did feel more intuitive. But anyways, okay, how can we hone this,
Yeah.
right? Everybody has their own individual lingo and definition system, right? So primarily the ways we communicate are through speaking, through like reading, right? Because we'll visually see something, so that's a type of
Mm-hmm.
communication. We'll hear information, right? Sometimes we'll just know information. Sometimes we'll smell information, and believe it or not, you can taste information. So those are what are called clairs, which are clearnesses. It's the French
Mm-hmm.
word for clear. But so you have clear speaking, clear seeing,
Yep.
clear
Clairvoyant,
feeling,
clairaudient,
clear all the
clairsentient, clair, all the clairs.
you can know what your strength is by how you learn information. So I'm an experiential learner. Like for me to learn something, I need to do it
Mm-hmm.
instead of read about it. I will not remember the information, right? So my tendencies are to be clairsentient, meaning I have to feel something, experience it. And then I would say my secondary is hearing. Like I'll
Mm,
ingest information more by hearing. So that's a way to hone your skills. Like when you go, okay, how do I best learn information?
interesting. Yeah.
Again, it's just knowing yourself, paying attention to how you operate as a human,
Yep.
right? So someone who's really clairvoyant, and a lot of people are clairvoyant, I can't see the color blue, but I can feel the color blue.
Mm,
So weird, right? But a lot of times people will have visions pop into their head. And that vision will mean something. And it might mean something different to you than it does to me. And that's because we each have our own inner language. So when you are honing your skills, if you know, for example, you're more visual, it's really easy. I think probably the easiest one is visual, in all fairness, because we're always, unless you're blind,
sure.
which
And
is a
most
possibility.
people from the learning side of it are visual learners. So more than half the population's a visual learner. I'm a visual kinesthetic. So
Oh,
I
nice.
want to see it and then I want to feel it.
Yeah.
And my psychicness comes from feeling, but also I'm really good at pattern recognition and like
Mhm.
visual stuff too.
Yeah.
I will hear things like when I'm talking to ghosts, for lack of a better word, I hear them.
Sure.
I could hear
Sure.
them saying things to me. So I kind of run the gamut of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's good. Yes. Okay. Go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted.
So if you're getting information, if it comes out of nowhere, we had another episode about downloading information, right? So if you're getting information in any of these ways, you put meaning to it. And that is your own language. Like for example, this hopefully this will be a good example. You hear me? If you were to see a white horse, Kathy, what
Mhm.
does a white horse mean to you?
Nothing.
It means nothing, like it has no meaning to you.
Not
Okay,
really. I mean,
perfect.
I could come up with something like, oh, nobility or
Okay,
purity,
great.
but like that's not a symbol that is in my lexicon
And you're
of
right.
that really mean. Now, if I see a hummingbird, that means something to me, you know?
Right. And that's okay. Like, because right now we're just sort of playing around, right? But
Sure.
I want to go back to that white horse
Yep.
thing because that was the first thing that I came out. So I'm going to use my trust in the divine
Yeah.
that we're supposed to talk about that for a second. So you mentioned nobility,
Hmm.
you mentioned purity. So if you were in a circumstance or situation, in a meeting, you were talking to somebody, I don't know, and out of nowhere, this picture in your mind shows up of a white horse. You can assign some sort of meaning to the circumstance that you're going through, and there's a potential, a possibility that that represents nobility or purity, whatever you're talking about, or even the person you're talking to,
Yep.
right? For me, a white horse means victory and success.
Mm,
So if I'm talking to you and you're telling me, "Oh, I'm applying for this speech that I'm going to give a talk to," and all of a sudden I get this image of a white horse, I know you're going to kick ass at that speech or giving that talk because I got that, right? Because that was my own
yeah.
personal meeting.
Lovely.
Does that
And
make
this is
sense?
where, and I love that that's a great example. And I love that you brought that up because so often people will have a dream and they'll head to the dream dictionary or they'll see an animal and they'll look it up online.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with those things. We've all done it. We've all
Oh yeah,
started that way.
for
But
sure.
to this point, different images mean different things to different people. If I'm dreaming of a big black dog, that might mean something vastly different than if you're dreaming about a big black dog, right?
Yeah.
So, this is one of the other reasons that it was always expressed to me very strongly. You do not read your own tarot cards
Yeah. Yeah,
because
yeah.
you're going to interpret it to, oh, he is going to love me and it's going to happen right now. It's hard to take your own biases out of it because the
Yes.
thing you want. Now, I've been taught to use cards that have specific meanings like in a book that explain to you what that card means as opposed to you trying to interpret it. So when I
Hmm.
read for others, I will read their tarot cards from an instinctive, intuitive, use the word again, intuitive
Hmm.
place. But I will not do that for myself. I have decks and systems that tell you what it means as opposed to having to try to interpret it because
Yeah.
trying to do that yourself, no, no, no.
And that's why when I teach people how to basically enhance their own internal lingo and their own internal psychic experiences,
Mm-hmm.
I have them use like a tarot card or whatnot. Like, so for example, I pulled out, this is a
Hmm.
universal rider deck,
Yeah.
right? I don't tell them to look up the meaning of the card at all. The card itself is meaningless. What you look at are the colors. What do the
Yes.
colors mean to you? Here, there's like, it's like a peacock bird or something. What does that mean to you?
Yep.
What is the fact that it's on her left hand? What is going on with her shoes? What direction is her shoe pointing in? Right. And what does that mean to you? What do
Yep.
grapes mean to you? So, you could completely read this card differently than I can. And it doesn't mean neither one of us are right or wrong. I mean, that's when you get the validation. And that's the thing, when you're practicing psychic work, you have to get validation.
Yes.
If you don't get validation or you can't, then you have to 100% trust that the information you're being given is truth. No wobbles.
Yeah.
And it's not easy to do when you're not getting validation.
Yeah.
Why?
Oh, such a good point. But that's
So,
that's how I was taught to read cards as well.
yeah,
I mean, I look at the card and something jumps out, whether it's the number or
yeah,
some symbol or the colors
yeah.
or the scene yeah. So I 100% read like that too. I'm going to toss in something not tarot, not that kind of reading.
Sure,
So
sure.
one of the things that I've done with multiple partners, including my husband and I, is I have a deck of psi cards which are the circle, the square, the triangle, the squiggles, and the
Okay.
star.
Sure, sure.
And we will try to send and receive
Hmm.
that information for each other.
Yeah,
So much fun. You can get
yeah.
them. most psychic stores or like kind of witchy stores have them, get them online.
Yeah.
They also have colors. And so we would just randomly go color. And one of us would think of a color and the other one would say blue. And we're running better than 50%, which is
Yeah.
more than average.
Correct.
So working with a partner, I had one friend, he and I used to sit in opposite rooms and try to draw what the other one was thinking. So like there's exercises like that you can do to start to hone things like precognition and telepathy and all that kind of stuff. So remembering that our psychic skills go beyond predicting the future.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And one of my favorites, and I used to do this on stage, it's just my favorites would be I would hold an object. It's called psychometry.
Oh, yes.
And I would blindfold myself. I'd have an object and I'd have my back to the audience. And all you do is you download from the universe, whatever information and data about that ring or that watch or that wallet. And again, it could be little bits here. I mean, with practice and time, you can put together like an entire narrative, but you might just get bits and pieces at first, right? You might be like, oh, this ring has joy associated with it, because that might be something you're feeling or sensing. And then and if you get an image of people dancing, you might go, okay, this ring has been at many weddings, or it's, whatever it is that you're picking up.
Yep.
So you're not just, relegated to just a card, but to hone your psychic skills, I really do think a card, something physical is really good. The other thing that I love doing is for people who are very clairaudient, who can hear, is you just randomly turn on the radio in your car. And if there's a song playing, you can either feel into the music if you're clairsentient, but you listen to the lyrics, and that in itself could be a message. But again, if you don't have anybody to validate this information, you just have to trust the information.
Yeah.
But you pose a question right before you turn.
I've done that. You and I have such great lives. Okay. So we're hitting almost 20 minutes.
Fabulous.
This has got so many good tips. So either get a partner and start to play some of those sort of psychic games to help that. Get a deck of cards, go instinctively. I pulled out the deck from previously the Mystic Mama cards that just have a word and an image, and just like start to make your own kind of psychic dictionary of like what this stuff means to you, right? And it's going to change situationally. But knowing what all this stuff means to you, and there's always these really great old books that give you, and I'm sure there's new ones too, that give you exercises to do and things that you can practice. I have something exciting to tell you, Terrie.
I want to hear it.
Next weekend, I am going to stay on the Queen Mary in room B340, which is the most haunted room on the ship.
Okay, I'm going to suggest that you record because if you get EVPs. That would be really cool.
Yes. So we're going to be staying there. My husband's not as excited as me, but they recently reopened the room. They shut it down in the 80s because people were fleeing in the middle of the night and getting so disturbed they couldn't stay there. And so we're sleeping there in a week. And
you're braver than I am. It's definitely not something I would do.
I'm so excited. I'm almost more excited about that than I am the dive trip on Catalina. So in a future episode, I will be sharing
please.
What the hell happens in that room on the Queen Mary? So there's our teaser.
That would be great, because I've been on the Queen Mary and I was in the pool. We were doing an investigation in the pool area, which is not open to the public typically. Maybe now it is. So let's do an episode on the Queen Mary. That'd be fun.
Yeah, because I found a couple of the ghosts there, but we'll see what happens with Walter in room B340. So, all right. I am Kathy Gruver. I can be reached at kathygruver.coach.
And I'm Terrie Huberman. You can catch me at terriehuberman.com. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of the Intentional Awakening podcast, and we'll see you in the next episode.